And it is possible to take your fitness as a 50-year-old and put it back where it was when you were a 20-year-old. So, everyone over that age of 50 or approaching that, you're similar to me. You're a warrior. You want to push hard, no pain, no gain. But that's not going to get you as far as you really need to get. You're investing time, energy and motivation into your training. We just got to do it a little bit smarter. Look, I can hear it. Every cycling club, every little group in this age group has a fanny rider. And what are they telling you? Exactly what your ego's telling you.
Ride harder, ride longer, ride faster.
Stop being a... You get the drift, okay? But this is not what we need all the time. And that's why I'm going to cut through that and give you a strategy that will work from today in this video. You can tell I'm quite passionate about it. Yeah, you can be passionate as well over the age of 50. Who said that we're finished? I am a very passionate guy. Okay? Hey, look, you're not alone on this journey, okay, with this frustration, with this confusion about what to do as soon as you get past that age of 50. Let me tell you a story about a client of mine, Stephen, 56 years old when he joined my coaching program. And I'm just here, I'm on my computer, I'm on my phone to him, and Stephen's telling me everything that every other 50-year-old plus rider has told me. Okay, Stephen, 50A, introduce yourself to the community.
I've had quite a few issues over the last year or so, if not a bit longer than that, and it prevented me from taking up cycling. It got to a point where I was actually considering getting rid of my bikes. So
he's working really hard. He's improved the distance of his long rides. He's gone faster. He's improved his community riding. So he's joined a bunch ride every Saturday. He's working super hard. He's gone online and joined a virtual racing group. He's even gone to the gym and lifting heavier weights than he had ever done before, doing everything to get his fitness back. That was the words he used, to get it back. Now the thing is, Stephen's waking up every morning. He's feeling stiff in his joints, okay? But he's feeling tired even when he's had a good night's sleep. He's feeling pissed off. Pissed off with himself, even with his wife, and his kids are even annoying him, plus the dog. I know, come on, man. But the thing is, he's disappearing into his man cave even more and working even harder. And what he's doing is just coming out of these hard workouts feeling there's no point. What's the point? I'm 50 years old now, I might as well give up. I hear you, I get it. But you see, the thing is, I told Stephen, stop. Let's draw a line now on what you have been doing and let's look at what you need to be doing, because there is a big elephant in the room, and that elephant is you, Stephen. You're the problem, not everything else. You see, like most men, Stephen thought the answer was just train harder. Yeah. So therefore, he added more miles to his longer rides. He just got more tired. He lifted heavier weights in the gym. His joints just ached more. Look, then he even added those Zwift rides, those virtual races. But he blamed everyone else in the group for cheating because he told me they weren't honest about their weight coach. True enough. But the thing is, we need to be honest with ourselves, okay? Because nothing was working, and worse for Stephen, there didn't seem to be any real answers out there. Okay, so I said to Stephen, let's flip things. I want to do this with you as well. So yeah, just take a couple of seconds and you can think about these 3 simple questions that I'm going to give you. Let's consider it multiple choice or family fortunes. Let's play the game together. So question number 1, I asked Stephen, for your training, what is the most important number between maximum heart rate and resting heart rate? Stephen said, yeah, it's like family fortunes. Resting heart rate. Correct, Stephen, well done. Look, as you age, your capillary network is shrinking. It's melting. You are losing it faster than your hair. You'll have more bikes than you'll have working blood vessels. Right, see, this is where your training needs to be focused on more. Harder, faster sessions, great, yeah, there's an opportunity for them, but you need to understand that your resting heart rate is telling you about your blood carrying capacity and your oxygen, your cardiovascular fitness. So we need to dial into that. Question 2, when you weigh yourself, what's the most important, mass or muscle and fat percentage? Stephen said, mass. My scales don't give me fat and muscle, coach. I said you've got $2,000 wheels on your bike and you don't even have a set of scales that measure fat and mass. Fix that. Why? Because as you age, your muscle is dropping each year. Okay, soon as you've hit 30, unless you invest in strength training, it's gone. We need functional strength. Why? Because this is a metabolic response. The more calories you will burn with the greater muscle tone, greater lean tissue percentage. So that is essential. Ask me this, do you want to be frail when you're old? No. Question 3, what is a good FTP for your age, Stephen? Stephen said, 250 watts. Bollocks, I said. There is no good FTP for your age. It's a trick question. You see, the thing is, FTP is a measure of fitness for zones, but FTP is a range. Your VO2 max, that's the real number. That's the verification, the validation of the work you do because it takes into account your weight, of course. Now, Stephen got this, but then he went back to the Zwift races and he said, but nobody's ever honest about their weight. I don't give a fuck about everyone else. I care about you because you've contacted me and I'm going to make sure that you progress. So this concept that I was going on about, the battle is with Stephen. What is it? It's his ego. It's all the noises that he thinks he hears. This mantra of no pain, no gain doesn't work when you're over 50 because you've already proven that you are a warrior. You need to understand that this is a gift. The fact that you're willing to get out of your bed early in the morning, the fact that you're willing to do a workout, that is special. That places you in the 1% group already, because the rest of people your age that you meet when you're out shopping and you try and hide from them or you go along to a reunion, they're fat as fuck, aren't they? They're aged 10, 20 years more than you. But the thing is, you're on that path if you don't fix things, if we don't handle this inflammation. So you need to look in the mirror and say it's me versus me, okay? You're already a warrior, but you need to adapt and become smarter. Smarter in a way that means that you are not going to downgrade your fitness, you're going to upgrade it. We need to stop punishing your body and start rewarding it. You see, Stephen was doing what he did when he was in his 30s. He even grabbed the FTP that was his peak when he was in his 30s. Look, I get that. We live in the past. We want to hang on to the past, but we've got to change. You see, your body doesn't recover the same way, but you know that. Your training needs to shift, but you know that. But we need to start thinking about longevity, not punishment, okay? I want you riding more, not less, but we need to ride smarter. I'm going to show you how to do that. You see, the first thing you need to identify is time is your enemy. I'm not talking about time, tick, tick, tick on this planet. You fear dying. I'm talking about the time you have each day, each week, each month, because so many other people are doing more. So you're looking at that thinking, I've got to do more. I used to be able to do a 4-hour ride. I've got to do this. You don't have to. You see, most people who fail to progress have surges of training. Now, your own motivation will surge. That's human beings. We do that. We'll have high and low periods of motivation. As I always say, a true champion turns up and delivers on the bad days, on the low motivation days. But what most people are doing is having these periods of, I can train, I've got time, I've got good health. Boom, they do too much, they can't absorb it, they can't progress because they are overreaching, not overtraining, because life is dancing on them all the time. The stresses of work, the stresses of worrying about, oh my God, what have I got to do tomorrow? You know the shit. The boss is on the phone, the kids are sick, the dog's just left home because you're so pissed off with it. The thing is, you've got to be careful of all these other stresses. But if you're in this period of punch, 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 knackered, 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 punch, 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 you're not going to progress. Look, let me tell you about Chris. Chris is a coaching client of mine, has been for a number of years. He's the same age as me. And when he joined me, he had the same thing, FTP, I want to hit 250. Chris's FTP is just shy of 300, but that's immaterial because his VO2 max has been in the top 1% for his age group for the last 2 years. And he's training 6 hours a week. Not 10, 12, 15, not trying to be a pro in his 50s, 6 hours a week. Now you can do the same, but let me give you a real insight into how we can game change your training. Did you know that most people are sitting down up to 8 to 10 hours a day? So as we get older, motion is important. Longevity of motion. Look, what is one of the key things about longevity? Did you know that it's reproduction? Yeah. Now, I'm not asking you to be going out there and having relationships with everything that's moving. I'm talking about the body is pre-coded to slow down as we get older. And when it can't reproduce, what's the point of being on the planet? Think about that. So, we need to be moving. We need to be linked to our hormones. But when we're sitting down all day and we get static, the brain's picking up. You're fucking useless. What point are you on this planet? Come on, move, move, move. So, when we get on the bike, your ass has been sleeping for 8 to 10 hours. Switch it on. Get your glutes working because functional strength is key. So before you go on the bike, you do a warm-up. Oh, well done. Yeah, you're good. But what's your warm-up? Spinning on the bike. No, switch on your glutes. Tell them that your posture is now alert. Because if you're not using your glutes, your quads are doing too much work. You'll sag on that saddle. So just set yourself up with your bike, okay? Feet shoulder width apart, deep squat. Chest high, all the way down, all the way up. Now, if you can't get all the way up, is that not telling you something about your quad strength? Do 10 of these, but when you come up, okay? When you come up, squeeze your ass cheeks together. Tell them they're going to work. So when we climb on the bike, yeah, your glutes are ready to dance, okay, and help you out. Yeah, 54, and he can still dad dance? Yeah, probably. You see, this is the point normally where people come to me, they're in this position, they're so frustrated, they're so angry. I don't want you to get that far down the line, okay? So that's why I'm sharing this video. Of course, there's 100 things. I could share a longevity video every single day for a year, every day. Okay, but YouTube would probably kick me off. Okay, squat's done. Let's get the shoes on, we'll get on the bike. You see, Stephen told me he looked everywhere, but nobody was really talking to him because he saw the fitness world was for younger people. And that's true, isn't it? You know, so what fails guys and women at 50? Well, first of all, generic gym programs. Many people will go on and look at these gym programs. Look, they're designed for 20-year-olds, okay? Therefore not longevity based. People do random YouTube workouts. They'll find one day, depending on what mood they're in, or depending if they like the trainer. Look, you need structure because overloading your system, you need to do it progressively. Then what about extreme diets? Oh, don't get me started on that. They will wreck your metabolism. What about asking the doctor? Now there's a good one. Are they going to give you specific sports advice? You know the answer to that. You don't need me to tell you. Look, I could share multiple approaches. The thing is, I'm a coach, I'm a teacher, I'm a dad, I'm a rider myself, but I have created over the last 30 years a series of workouts that I know the stimulus needed to progress anyone's fitness, but I know how to adapt it as we get older. And that's why I create the Bulletproof Longevity Triangle. 3 things, okay, so what are they? Number 1, we all know functional strength. Maintaining mobility and durability, okay? Do not get frail. Just have an image of yourself older and frail. You do not want to become that. So strength and mobility. You got to have VO2 max optimization, managing your aerobic capacity for endurance. You got to combine real zone 2 with a 1 all-out VO2 max workout per week. Look, the rules are no more than 20 minutes at zone 5 in that workout and never go beyond 3 minutes maximum in any one interval. And then there's healthy weight management. No excuses, no blaming other things, no blaming the food that you've eaten. You didn't understand the fucking label. Men, get your body fat under 20%. Women, get it under 30%. You will be a new athlete and you will reduce the stress on your joints. That means that you will reduce the pain on your joints. This is nothing else to do with fucking carrying too much weight. Come on. We were born in the 60s, 70s, grew up in the 80s, developed ourselves into adults at some point in the 90s maybe. But it's important that you take ownership. So, you've already addressed that the biggest problem you have is yourself, nothing else. We know now that I've got to apply a strategy to invest in my pension, yes, but also in my functional strength. Every single day, functional, that's mobility as well. And that's all over. Not trying to get big biceps. Look at those babies. It's about quads, glutes, calves, hamstrings, chest. Careful how you position your hands, coach. Chest, biceps, the whole body, not just looking good in some tight t-shirt. Oh my God.
50-year-olds that do that, please. Okay, anyway.
You get the point, right? Longevity triangle. Functional strength, VO2 max, weight management. What are you doing? Look, people often ask me this question. Oh, when's a zone 2 bad for you? When it's fucking zone 3 and you try to do zone 2. You see, the thing is about your metabolic response. I could go back and harp on about, as a kid in the 70s, I lived in the countryside. I was sent out all day and my mother called me in when it was a mealtime. My mitochondrial overload when I was a kid was huge, but not everybody's got that exposure now. We've got risk assessments. You can't let your kid play in the garden for too long because the fucking sun's gonna melt them or something. The thing is, okay, we need to be responsible for our own actions, okay? Because your actions filter to other people, whether you've got kids, whether you've got other people watching you. Motion is important, okay? And weight management, I can't express how important it is, okay? No excuses. Own it and fix it. Everything that I created for Stephen gave him a structure. Now, one of the things that I want to share with you that was really game-changing for Stephen wasn't just the workouts and the key stimulus that I was hitting. You know what stimulus you need to be working on, but it was the structure. So I want to share this with you because I've got hundreds of plans, but they follow this similar structure. The sandwich effect of having bread and filler in bread. You see, people chase workouts. Do it? You miss a workout, you do a hard workout. You're stretched for time, you do a hard workout. You're driven by your ego, right? Now that's no bad thing, okay? There are times where we need to dial into that, but we're thinking about longevity. We are creating a plan of getting on your bike and using it as an elixir for life. An elixir for longevity, giving you 10, 20 more years of motion. That is key. That is a game changer. Now it is possible, and it is possible to take your fitness as a 50-year-old and put it back where it was when you were a 20-year-old. So, the sandwich effect. The bread is the zone 2, real zone 2. Aim for the middle power of your zone 2 range. Use your heart rate as a guide, but use your RPE. How does it feel? It should be a 5 or a 6 out of 10. You should finish a zone 2 ride feeling like you could do an hour more. Your filler is your zone 5. Or maybe your zone 3 faking into zone 4. Whatever stimulus you go for, that should be done once a week minimum. Maybe twice depending on how many times you're training. So once you've done that, you go back to the bread, you go back to zone 2. You never do more than 3 days in a row. Bread, filler, bread. Now let's say you miss the filler session. You have to take a day off. You can still go back to doing the filler on day 3. Say you miss the bread session, the zone 2. You do not then do another filler session just because you missed it. Stick to the schedule. Zone 2, filler, zone 2. You do 3 days in a row, you take a rest. Now here's the game changer. You can do as many bread sessions in a row as you want, but, and I'm not talking about the size of your butt. I'm talking about doing 2 consecutive zone 2 days that go beyond 90 minutes. You must take the 3rd day off. 90 minutes is a good calling point for 50-plus-year-olds, especially if you've lost a little bit of fitness because you are dialing into using stored fuel and emptying it. Because most of you are shit at the moment with your eating habits. I don't feel hungry when I'm doing zone 2 rides. It doesn't mean that you don't eat. I'm trying to lose weight, coach. It doesn't mean that you don't eat. But this rule works. Over 90 minutes, it's going to stretch your recovery more than your filler session. So let me recap on that. Bread is your zone 2. Filler is your zone 5, potentially, going a little bit harder. Then you're back to bread. That structure alone will get you in the 1% for your age group if you push it, okay? 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. There are no hacks, no shortcuts, no cheating. But if you do the zone 2 and you go over 90 minutes and you do that 2 days in a row, take the 3rd day off regardless of how soft you went. Allow your body to regenerate. So let's dial into a little bit of nutrition in terms of your recovery. Follow the 22 and the 4. 20 minutes. As soon as you enter the cool down, give your immune system a boost with carbohydrates, not proteins. You don't need them just now because your nervous system is in fight or flight. Give your digestive system a chance to relax. Carbohydrates, energy. That is going to boost the immune system to start the recovery the minute you're in your cool down. And never miss a fucking cool down. I don't care if you put a Strava section right outside your house. Cool down. At least 10 minutes, okay? After 2 hours, your body is much more likely to be in that rest and digest. Nervous system has flipped. Get your proteins in. Ideally, you're looking for solid proteins, but liquid will do if you've got a shake, because most 50 plus riders are shit when it comes to taking protein. You need to increase your protein. Think of it as putting wood on a fire. It burns slowly. Carbohydrates, paper. It's gone, okay? Then the 4-hour rule. Remember, your hydration is fundamental. So weigh yourself in at the start of the ride and weigh yourself in at the end. That loss is water. Add on 500 milliliters just for passive sweating during the next hour or so. You keep that hydration up, I tell you, you will feel like you're 20 years old. I don't care how much you're drinking, because if you go back to your surge behaviour, you're drinking in surges. Oh, don't give me that bullshit, the boss doesn't let me, I'm going to be going to the toilet all the time. Your body will adapt. A mouthful, that's all you need. Let it absorb. A few minutes later, another mouthful. Take your time, okay? You're not at some stag do, bachelor party, back in your 20s, guzzling down beer in one go. No, you're drinking for your longevity. You're eating for your longevity, okay? Many riders fear this, but it's a game changer as well. It's touch points. Let's say you haven't got an hour. If you do 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes again at night, that's 1 hour. But you've condensed the periods of whereby the overload is happening. This changes people's fitness. It can change it in weeks. But it takes away that stress of having to find these longer periods of time. This is something that I do. In the morning, I can do a 30-minute, 40-minute Zone 2 ride, but I use a lower cadence and I push the power up to the top of Zone 2. That lower cadence allows me to dial into a strength sessions because I can really feel the contraction of the muscles. I know science is a little bit disputed about whether this works. Trust me, anecdotally for myself, as the feeling, it works. And I've done it for years, and I've seen pros do it, and I've seen successful riders, time trialists, mountain bikers, cyclocross riders, they've done it, and it works. But by breaking up and having these touch points, you are turning up more often. Do not ever be afraid of that, because it really helps you stopping entering that overload and no return, where you're overcommitting. Yeah, you're overreaching. Not overtraining. For Stephen, this was a great relief because it took out all the guesswork. Finally had a progressive, real program that offered him structure, worked around his time. You see, this is what I do for a living. My Bulletproof community, I've helped over 500 riders, just like you, men and women in their 50s, 60s, and even older, some in their 70s. Take away the guesswork and give them the right program with real results. If you want more info on this type of thing, look, there's something down below, okay? It's entirely up to you. I'm not forcing you to do this, but you see, you can do it. Think about this. What is age? It's a number. Of course things change, right? But we are emotionally driven, and society has told you that when you hit this particular age, slow down, take it easy. Fuck, screw slowing down. No way. For every breath I've got, I'll be as strong as I can on this planet, and you can be the same. But as soon as you start thinking that you're old, then you're old, okay?